So today's video is a bit of a behind the scenes look at how I created this cat makeup for a blog post over on Bang On Style. I decided instead of just capturing photos, I would take video of me creating this look. Now my setup's not perfect and I must confess I made it up as I went along, but hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing how I created this look, so I really hope you like it. So I've already done my foundation. I tried to use quite a full cover foundation and I'm going to pencil in my brows like I would normally. So I use the Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder with an angled brush, and normally I would use the two colours, the lighter on the front bit and the darker on the end, but I'm actually just going to put the darker colour the whole way through so that my brows are nice and defined. And I'm not going to do them any bigger than I normally would. I've just maybe accentuated the arch a little bit just to add that kind of feline element. But yeah, just going to fill them in really simply and that's it. So I'm now going to use the NYX Ultimate palette. It's the Ultimate USP 01 palette, and I'm actually going to use that kind of burgundy brownie colour, and I'm going to use that to contour. It's a little bit harder to blend because obviously it's an eyeshadow, it's not a proper contouring powder, but I just really liked the colour, that it had a little bit of sort of pinkiness in it. So I'm going to add it into under my cheekbones, my forehead, just to add sort of shadow and definition, all the kind of places that you would normally do that, you know, full on Kim K contouring, but a little bit more excessively. And actually, I think I went in a little bit too softly, and I did go back in later with more, but I think if I did this again for Halloween, I would go in with even more colour, so it was even more bold. I'm also going to put some under my neck and along my jawline as well. Then using the Sleek Eye Divine palette, I'm going to mix the rose gold and the bronzy colour together, and I'm going to add that onto all the areas that I've contoured, and this is just to add a little bit of a shimmery effect to it. I want the whole cat look to kind of have this iridescent shimmery feel to it, kind of rose gold feel to it. So I'm just going to go around and add that either on the contouring that I've done or maybe just slightly above, just a little bit. Then with a smaller, slightly stiffer brush, I'm going to continue to use that burgundy colour, and I'm going to add some shadow down my nose line. And this I wanted to be really bold, so I've gone in with quite a lot, but I am going to blend it out quite a lot. So I'm going to shadow down my nose line and into my eye socket, and later when we do the smoky eye, we're going to join this up. I just kept building up the colour and kept blending it down my nose just until I was happy, and then of course I repeated it on the opposite eye and tried my hardest to make it symmetrical on both sides of my nose until I had a kind of like really defined shape that I wanted. So that's kind of the finished look. As I said, I did go back in with more contour colour. Here I am going in with even more of that burgundy colour because I just felt like it wasn't defined enough. It is 100% easier to add makeup. It's so much harder to take it away. So I always think it's better to just build up. So now I'm going to do the eyes, and I'm going back in with the NYX Ultimate palette, and I'm using the palest colour, and this is just to create a base colour. I always do this whenever I do any kind of smoky eye. I always add a sort of neutral base just to brighten the whole eye area. So I'm putting that on the lid, trying to avoid where I've done that previous sort of shadowing, but we are going to go over that anyway. So yeah, that creamy colour on the lid and up to my brow line. Then using that burgundy colour, I started on a smoky eye, and I'm just using that colour in my crease using a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to build up the colour, keep adding more into my crease, blending it outwards, and yeah, just create a really smoky eye that's quite large, that extends quite high up. Obviously, I wanted it to be a bit more dramatic than I would have on a normal day out because it's obviously for Halloween. And then obviously I'm going to do exactly the same on the opposite eye. Nice and blended out, and yeah, just building up the colour in that socket line using that same burgundy. Then once I've finished that, I'm going to go in with this kind of sparkly grey brown colour. It's a lot darker, and I'm going to add that right into my socket line to create some depth to the smoky eye. Again, I just played around with it, built up the colour until I was happy with the overall look, and then repeated it on the other eye. Then when the smoky eye is done, I'm going to use the Maybelline Kohl Crayon in black just to do my waterline. It's not my favourite thing in the world to do. I do find it a little bit uncomfy, but I felt like this look really needed it. So I'm doing the upper and lower waterline, and then on the upper, I'm actually going to extend the line down in the corner of the eye. And I'm doing that with the kohl because in a minute, I'm actually going to line it with a felt liner, and I'm using the Collection Extreme Felt Liner in black. I am rubbish at black eyeliner with a felt tip like this. In fact, just generally, I don't do it that often, so I'm not an expert. So it takes me a lot of trial and error, a lot of cleanup with cotton buds, but the end result that I wanted was a fairly extreme flick with quite a wide line on the top and extending down following that previous line that I'd already done. So because I tend to grab my eye and lift it upwards to help with my liner, I'm just going to go back in and replace any eyeshadow that I've accidentally removed with my clumsy fingers. But that's the end look that I wanted, and I'm going to then repeat the same thing on the opposite eye. So for the lower lash line, I'm actually going to use the NYX palette black powder and an angled brush. I just find this a lot easier than liquid liner on my lower lashes, and it gives a slightly softer look. So I'm going to go along my lower lash line. Then I'm actually going to create another line that runs parallel to that line down by my nose, but I'm going to leave a bit of a gap. And at the other end, at the corner of my eye, I'm going to do the same, a little line that extends out, but again, I'm going to leave a little gap. And I'm going to do the same on both eyes. And then with a little fluffy brush and that burgundy colour again, I'm going to add some of that burgundy colour to my lower lash line just to finish off the smoky eye. So when that's done, I'm then going to go back in with the Sleek palette, and I'm going to use this shimmery rose colour again. And I'm going to add this onto the top of my lid. And controversially, people, I am using the little tool that comes with it. I wouldn't normally use this, but I really want to pack on the colour. And this is really good for dabbing it right into the corner of my eye and onto the centre of my lid. So I'm going to do that into the corner of my eye on both eyes and just blend it outwards. And this adds a really nice shimmer. Okay, now with the Collection white kohl liner, I'm just going to add a nice pop of white in between those two lines in the corner of each eye, and also in the outer corner of each eye in between those two lines. And this is just going to help those little areas pop out. Once I've done that, I'm then going to go in with a little angled brush and the gold colour from this Sleek palette, and I'm going to add that into the corner of each eye, in each inner corner and outer corner where I've just done the white. Then I'm going to use a Collection concealer just to neaten up the whole look and really brighten around the eyes. So I've just dotted a little bit, and I'm just going to tidy up, and that helps tidy up any mess that I've made, and also make the whole smoky eye really neat and pop out. Then I'm going to add that same Collection concealer to the bridge of my nose and just around the outside, just to get rid of any redness. And that's kind of because I blew my nose in the middle of this makeup. It's in a really light colour, this Collection concealer, just to make that area really stand out. And I'm just going to blend it out down my nose and around my nose. So once I did that, I'd actually decided to go back in with that burgundy contouring colour and add even more shadow down my nose and bring it all the way down to my nostrils. So I'm doing that on both sides. Then with my Benefit What's Up stick, I'm actually going to add highlight down the bridge of my nose, onto my forehead, on the tops of my cheekbones, the top of my lip, and a tiny little bit on my chin, and also a little bit on the brow bone on each eyebrow. And I'm just going to blend it out with my fingers to soften. Then with a fluffy brush and the gold colour that has a slight shimmer to it from the NYX palette, I'm just going to tap that on top of all of the highlight that I've done. All the same places, bridge of my nose, top of my cheekbones, top of my lip, everywhere. And then I actually went back in with even more burgundy contouring, just a little bit more on my forehead and on my neck and chin, just to really add definition. So now we're going to do the fun bit. We're going to do the leopard print, and I'm actually using the Collection Extreme Liquid Liner again to draw out my little cat leopard print design. And all this really is a collection of shapes that are shaped like a wonky C. So all you need to do is draw slightly jaggedy, wonky C shapes. Don't do full circles, make sure you leave a little gap, make sure they don't all look exactly the same, and then also add the odd little sort of black patch, little black dot. My other bit of advice is just to step back and look every so often at the pattern that you're doing. I decided that I wanted to create a kind of one-sided effect, so I'm actually only going to do leopard print on this one side and then a little bit around the opposite eye. So I'm just working my way around the area that I want to fill, and I keep just taking a minute to sit back and look at what I'm doing and see whether I like the pattern of leopard print that I'm drawing. And it's as simple as that. And then I'm going to do a similar smaller area of leopard pattern around the opposite eye. So again, similar little wonky C shapes, dots, sort of mixture of leopard print around the eye, around the eyebrow, but a much, much smaller contained area on this side. And once I'm happy with my leopard pattern and still using the liquid liner, I'm actually going to do my nose now. Now I confess I did my nose twice. I basically penciled in my whole nose black and thought that looks awful. So I cleaned it off and started again. So I've gone for a much smaller nose this time. So all I'm doing is using the black pen to draw out the shape that I want and filling it in. Then I went back in with that burgundy colour and actually shaded my nostrils to really make the nose much narrower to fit with the shape of black that I'd done. And I did that on both sides. Then using the palest colour again in the NYX palette, I'm actually going to lighten the whole area around my mouth. And this is ready for me doing my whiskers. Now, I'm not actually going to do cat whiskers, I'm just going to do the whisker holes. And I'm going to draw them using the liquid liner again. I'm just going to press on to create dots around my mouth area where my whisker holes would be if I was a cat. And I'm going to make sure that the opposite side is symmetrical. So now we're going to add the pink and the gold to the leopard print, and I'm actually going to use this really vibrant hot pink eyeshadow, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of that hot pink eyeshadow into some of the leopard print shapes. So you want to kind of alternate because we're going to add gold in as well in a minute, and you don't have to fill every single leopard print shape with colour. But yeah, this eyeshadow is so pigmented that you only need a tiny bit in each little bit for it to really, really pop. It's amazing. Then for the gold, I'm going to use this NYX Gilded colour, which is this really amazing, vibrant yellow gold. Again, really, really pigmented, so you only need a small amount. Just using a small brush, just tap a little bit of the colour into the middle of alternate shapes. Again, you don't need to fill them all, just work out which ones you want to be gold and make sure you do both sides of your face. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm going to add mascara. I'm using Benefit's Bad Girl Bang, which, oh my god, is the best mascara in the whole world. Now you could add false lashes, but I actually just can't bear to wear them. But using this mascara, I don't need them because it honestly makes my lashes huge. So I'm going to put 2 nice thick coats on the top and bottom lashes to really make this look really, really dramatic. And then all I did was add a coat of my favourite Burberry lipstick, which is a nude colour, and that was it. Finished. I was really, really pleased with the end result. I would so happily go out for Halloween wearing this cat makeup. I feel like it looks so much better in real life than it does on camera. So I hope you guys can kind of see the slightly shimmeriness and the really vibrant neon in the leopard print. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And of course, do subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.